Good evening. New microphones, pardon us if we mess up here. If you would, I'll call the meeting of Tuesday, February 17th, 2026 of the City Council to order at 6 p.m. If you would please rise for the pledge. Thank you. All right, item 1, public comments and announcements. At this time, we'd like to listen to any member of the audience on any subject matter, whether or not that item is on the agenda. All comments are limited to a maximum of 4 minutes per speaker, shall be limited to city business or city-related business or matters of general public interest, and shall not include any personal attacks or abusive language. All public remarks shall be addressed to the chair. Comments should not be directed toward individual council members, city staff, or other members of the public. In accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, members may not discuss or take action on any item that has not been posted on the agenda. When your name is called, please come to the podium, state your name and address clearly into the microphone before making your comments. Thank you. Do we know if the microphone's on? Sorry. Make sure the microphone's on first. Okay. Ronica Hall is first.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm Ronica Hall, 2609 Latesh Lane, Lake Cove, Seabrook. And I'm here on behalf of BayCert, our Bay Area Community Emergency Response Team. And I wanted to make sure that the council knew that the very first CERT training class was held in Seabrook in 2006 at the Ed White Youth Center. And last month we celebrated our 20th CERT birthday, which makes us one of the longest and oldest CERT teams in Harris County, of which we are very, very proud. And secondly, I want to council know that how much BayCert appreciates your ongoing support. Last Saturday, our team participated in the Harris County Citizen Corps Community Emergency Response Team Rodeo, which is held every year at the Sheriff and Fire Training Facility in Atascocita. And for the 4th year in a row, BayCert earned the highest point. We got the best score out of all the participating teams, and these teams are Harris County and statewide. And a lot of that credit, a lot of it goes to Seabrook. We are supported by the police, the fire, especially emergency management. Public Works is very helpful to us. And we want to make sure that council and the city knows how appreciative BayCert is for everything that they do for us. That's it.
Thank you very much. Gail, countdown. Next and last is Joe McCall.
Joe McCall, Seabrook. So I wanted to echo what you just said about BayCert. That's actually a really, really good program. We supported it when I was on council here. They've done a great job. And so I wanted to make a correction. A couple meetings ago, I said the chairs that are going to be replaced here were going to be $1,000 each. They're going to be $300. I still think that's way too much for chairs to fit a color wheel. I don't think you need to do a color wheel for 75 chairs and spending $22,500. PEG funds, that's what's going to pay for it. It's still tax money because PEG funds is public education and government funds coming from places like your cable companies. You know, so who pays the cable bill? You as a citizen, as a taxpayer. So it's still coming from your money. It says it's supposed to be for capital expenses such as equipment for city council meetings, local television stations, or broadcasting infrastructure. Personally, I think you could do, obviously the microphones, more cameras. I don't think chairs really on it, but I'm sure you could find a reason to say chairs cut it, but I disagree. But $22,500 for chairs, it's ridiculous. Believe me, the people at Dairy Queen are telling me that, because I still go to Dairy Queen and listen to what the people say. So the other thing is, I went down to Pine Gully Park the other day, and they replaced a bunch of the, not chairs, but picnic tables with composite picnic tables, and they're all donated by the local, what's the group here? I'm trying to remember the name. They just did the Men Who Cook. Rotary. Excellent job. Those things are fantastic. If you haven't been down there to see them, they're awesome. I counted at least 8. If we get more, if they donate more, that'll be even better. Those things are fantastic. They look great. The park looks really good. The public works guys going around doing that. I saw them painting fire hydrants the other day, blue, the main part, and then white on the ends and all that. And I'm sure there's some other colors, from the size of the pipe. But by the way, they're doing really good. And that brings me to my last point. Say that in your meeting. I like that you do the meetings, or the little recap, but there's more to do. Like, we had an officer who saved a life. Talk about that. Talk about those picnic tables down there. Talk about, like, John Coggeshall planting all the trees. The guy's planted more trees in Seabrook than anybody. I mean, there's a lot of good people. Talk about this base cert. I'm not telling you how to do your job. I'm just saying that'd be a good thing to add, because that's what the people want to hear. Kind of like, hey, we approve this or that. They don't care. But they do care about that type of thing, because that improves their life. That helps them. So, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let me find my agenda, sorry. Item 1.1, Mayor, City Council, and members of city staff may make announcements about city or community events. Before we go to Tyler.
All right, let me see if I can work the new microphones. All right, so we put out a social media post on this, but we have started the mural projects. This is the one that's behind the community house, and we also have the one that is right in the yard of the community house that says Seabrook. So we've got a little more work to do on both of them, but they're coming along well, and I think we've had a lot of great feedback on that project. We're continuing, we're a little behind schedule on the Promise CIP. This is still going to have another push for anyone who wants to sign up, but we have currently now over 400 that have signed up to be part of the survey tool. We're targeting now the first of next week for the survey on the CIP. And just as a reminder, once the survey comes out, within 48 hours, it'll be cut off and everyone will get to see the results. So we'll target to go on the next council meeting after that to discuss next steps. But again, this will be a public result that everyone that signed up will get to see. On boards and commissions, your EDC met on the 12th, since your last meeting. They voted for the mayor to be attending the DC trip for the Economic Alliance. Also approved being a 20% match, and we'll talk about that on your council agenda tonight, for a federal grant program that will go towards Main Street reconstruction and improvements. We'll also they also approved the engineering proposal for additional district parking in Old Seabrook that will mirror behind Merlion, and approved the revised incentive policy. Your Parks and Trails Committee met on the 5th and continued discussion on the Keep Texas Beautiful grant program, next steps, and a Hester Park cleanup. Planning and Zoning is looking to reschedule, and a date will be announced. On 146, checked in with this contractor that is working from the Seabrook limits all the way down into LaPorte. This project, again, is adding a third lane that will marry with the project here in Seabrook and the Grand Parkway all the way around. The Red Bluff Overpass crews have been sprinkling in. They're committed to bringing a full crew in and completing that deck at the Red Bluff Overpass within the next month. He's also reporting that they're really trying hard north of Seabrook to finish all the main lanes for the northbound. And then their big item that obviously we've seen intermittently affecting the traffic in Seabrook section is that they will be demoing the Fairmont overpass. So they've got the Wharton Weems detour that we're, starting to have a little bit of an overflow, but I'm sure with the Fairmont demolition and rerouting of traffic, we'll continue to see some impacts on this project. On your CIP, we fully have the contractor out there doing work on the demolition for the old wastewater plant. This is an aerial by our GIS team in the background there, so you can see that they started one of the units in the center of that photo, and then on the bottom right, checked on them today, and so they pretty much got the first unit down, so making quite a bit of progress on the demolition. Again, this is a 90 days, so it should go fairly quickly. On the Pelican Pool project, it's coming along. The concrete crews were out there today doing blowing in the walls. So a lot of progress today was made. This is just a recap on the top left of the rendering of what the project will look like. And this is some recent aerials. This has been formed up before the walls have started going in this week, but you can kind of start to see from that formal rendering that it's really starting to take shape. And again, at the bottom, they're blowing in those walls today, and I think tomorrow and the next day they'll finish up that portion of the project. The fire training tower is also coming along. We finally scraped ground on the foundation, and so that has begun work. Again, this is sort of a smaller project, but hopefully within the month we'll get that ready. The order is already in for the tower itself, so we hope to, within the next few months, by summer, certainly have that project up and complete. Couple more projects just to touch on. I don't have some pictures on these, but Public Works is busy. These are some of the projects that we have in the chute right now. We're working on a Pine Gully wastewater force main bore where we've run into a little bit of an issue with right-of-way, and so we're working with the port and Harris County Flood Control to get that resolved. Our outfall pipe repairs, you've got an item tonight, so we're continuing on our drainage that kind of fits into this particular CIP project, making sure all the outfall pipes are updated and repaired. Our East Meyer construction, you'll also consider that item tonight, so that project is been bid, and if approved tonight, we'll move the contract and then set a construction start time. North Meyer is previously approved and in design, and that we will not burden the community at a simultaneous construction as those two intersect. But as you can see, probably the next 3 years, we're going to be considerably busy in the street programs on this side of town. The rural street preventive maintenance, we're working with a contractor. These are streets that we put in a classification, for instance, in Old Seabrook area that are the smaller streets, trying to catch them before they get to a condition that they need a full overhaul. So there'll be some minor preventive maintenance on that CIP project. And then finally, Lyman Street off Topville, that one was beyond repair, and that one's been bid for a full reconstruction. So that item will be coming to you soon as well. Fleet Week, just a brief update on this. Staff has been busy working on the new updates on this. We've got the 20th, so the military has confirmed that date for Seabrook. Staff has looked at trying to get the biggest bang of the buck for all the rentals that will take to put this street festival on. So we are looking at a start of 11 a.m. The plans right now would be to utilize the street because we'll already have a full closure, try to get a few more food trucks in the area and invite people down before the evening festivities to come possibly to the food truck park. And we're working with a local vendor that does markets to have a really robust vendor market as well. So our hope is that we can get quite a few out during the day to enjoy everything. We'll move into festivities after 5 o'clock. And then right now, based on what they're looking at as far as sunset, the drone show will not be able to start until about 8:30. So that's the 9 o'clock anticipated close of this festival. So we're continuing to work through some of the details. EDC is partnering on this, and we've been working with the military. We've got a couple announcements that we hope come to fruition, one being that they are looking at doing a flyover Main Street, hopefully around 5 or 6 PM, so we're looking forward to that. And also trying to get the Navy Band as well as some big apparatus on the street that the kids and families could go up to and take pictures with. So more to come on that if that's confirmed, but we're shoring up a lot of what that agenda will look like for the festival. Any questions?
I have a question, Gail. On Red Store, I know Red Store is a Harris County road. The sidewalks on there too, because I know like where like the Ellis Cove subdivision is, to be able to like get those sidewalks completed to get all the way down to like the Monroe splash pad, would that be a county project or would that be something that we would work with us, or how would that?
That would be all county right-of-way in that section. We've talked about it internally, it's pretty tight as far as the right-of-way on that side of Repsdorf, and we'd have to probably discuss it a little bit more, but it's a challenge to do that section. We've talked about and have on the parks and master plan to do from Ellis Cove around to the old Repsdorf right-of-way and then connect back to 146, but our discussions preliminarily I think we've even had a discussion with the county going back the other way on that side of the road is tight. You can see once you get back
Right.
towards those subdivisions. But something we could look at one more time.
All right, cool, thank you.
Anything else for Gail? Thank you, Gail. Tyler, you have some announcements?
Yeah, I just got one announcement here, and that is our Trash Bash. The River Lakes, Bays, and Bayous Trash Bash will celebrate the 32nd annual cleanup of our Galveston Bay watershed on Saturday, March 28th. The location to park, register, and check in will be Bay Elementary, just around the corner here. Registration begins at 8:30 to 9 a.m., and cleanup will be from 9 to 11 a.m. Once again, that's Saturday, March 28th. And if you want more information on that, you can go to Seabrook's website, seabrooktex.gov/trashbash.
Thank you. Any questions or anybody else had announcements? No? Thank you. All right, we'll go to item 2, presentations. Thank you. Item 2.1, Mayor Sweeney to present a proclamation to the City of Seabrook Public Affairs Department declaring February 20, 2026 as Government Communicators Day in the City of Seabrook. I'll do that down at the side. Thank you. Whereas the role of government communication professionals is to inform, educate, and engage the residents, businesses, and visitors of their communities, and whereas clear and timely communication fosters trust and inspires Seabrook residents to participate actively in civic affairs and community initiatives, and whereas government communications helps build awareness and understanding by telling Seabrook's story, encouraging civic engagement, and promoting involvement in critical city decisions using a variety of communication channels, and whereas effective communication is vital to ensuring that all residents of Seabrook have the opportunity to make their voices heard, which strengthens the democratic process, and whereas the City of Seabrook acknowledges and deeply appreciates the professionalism, dedication, hard work, and commitment of the Department of Public Affairs staff who tirelessly serve to keep the community informed and engaged. Now therefore, I, Jim Sweeney, Mayor of Seabrook, Texas, do hereby proclaim February 20, 2026 as Government Communicators Day in the City of Seabrook, Texas. In witness whereof, I heretofore set my hand and cause the seal of the city to be fixed the 17th day of February 2026. And it's picture time, I think.
Are gonna have to a little bit. Be friendly. Be friendly? Be friendly. Easy. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you, Mayor.
Congratulations. Thank you all for what you do. Always get the good times. Thank you for your patience, and congratulations again to Seabrook Public Affairs Department. Item 2.2, presentation of Barge 295 for the Fall Fest 2025 post-event report in compliance with the Hotel Occupancy Tax Hot Grant Funding Agreement. Who's going to do that? Oh, good. Just hit the center button and the green light should go on.
Okay, I think that's good. On behalf of my family and our business, Barge 295, I want to sincerely thank the City of Seabrook for allowing us to be here tonight. We truly appreciate the opportunity to partner with our city and contribute to the community that we are proud to call home. For those who don't know me, my name is Danielle Robinson. Barge is a family-owned business and operated in Seabrook, and I currently serve as one of the acting managers. Our mission has always been to create a welcoming waterfront gathering place that supports our local families, local businesses, and the spirit of Seabrook. I'd like to briefly recap our second annual Fall Fest. This year's event was an incredible success. We saw strong community participation, support from local vendors, live entertainment, and families enjoying a safe and festive atmosphere together. In addition to our local turnout, the evening brought visitors from out of town who supported our local hotels and surrounding small businesses, creating a broader economic impact for Seabrook. With the help of the hot tax funding, we were able to expand the event and make it better than our first year. The additional support has allowed us to enhance entertainment, improve logistics, increase marketing efforts to attract more visitors to our city. We are grateful for that investment and proud of the positive return that it generated for our community. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce Susan Hickman, who has been instrumental in our community involvement and event collaboration. We are thankful for her help and dedication to this event. Susan, I'll turn it over to you. Let me get set up here. Good evening. My name is Susan Hickman. I'm a Texas-based country music artist. I've been in the industry for 26 years, including performing, touring, event and festival coordinating, concert production, marketing development, and talent buying. I currently serve as the talent buyer and event marketing lead for Barge 295, coordinating concerts and special events. I manage the venue's website, email marketing, branding, and oversee the promotion of events, concerts, and festivals through multi-channel advertising. My role is focused on building sustainable tourism-driven live music events that generate measurable economic impact for the city of Seabrook. And we're going to start our report. Okay, so the objective of funding for the hot tax: promote Seabrook as a live music destination, drive overnight stays, out-of-town visitation, increase economic activity through hotel bookings, restaurant and bar spending, local tourism traffic, and measure and report on public investment. So our Fall Fest 2025 overview: we had 2 nights, a fantastic destination concert event hosted by Barge 295 in the Yard, ticketed and promoted regionally, designed to attract non-local attendees. The event dates were Friday, November 14th and 15th, and we had our musical lineup: Chad Prather, Big Jordan Band, Aaron Watson, myself, Susan Hickman, and Clay Hollis. Our target audience strategy: we targeted out-of-town concertgoers, Houston metro and regional Texas markets, live music travelers, and then fans willing to travel and stay overnight. And why this matters: for hot tax funds focused on tourism, not only local traffic, we encouraged multi-day stays, supported Seabrook hotels and local businesses. Our advertising and promotion strategy included multi-channel marketing approach. We did outdoor advertising. We did a billboard placement targeting inbound traffic. It was placed on 45 and 59 South. We did radio advertising with 100.3 The Bull, KILT. We did digital advertising
highly targeted Meta, Facebook, and Instagram ads, geographic targeting outside of Seabrook, interest-based targeting, country music, concerts, travel, festivals, and outdoor events. And then we did a website rebrand with a Fall Fest landing page and a complete hotel lineup. So they had to, they were able to choose hotels to stay. Digital advertising execution. So the radius targeting in and outside of Seabrook, Houston and surrounding regional markets, event-specific creative for each night, ticket-driven call to action, retargeting engaged users. The metrics tracked, the total meta ad campaign for our digital ads. There's some prices there. Our impressions, over 600,000, which is great. Link clicks, we have over almost 15,000, and then we have ticket conversions of 260. The terrestrial radio advertising campaign that we did was through 100.3, The Bull, KILT. There's a lot of information here. Our target demographic were adults 25 to 54. Format is country. The weekly listeners is an average of 700,000, over 700,000 people. Monthly streams, close to 200,000. Social followers, over 200,000. 6-week radio ad campaign, totaled $9,525. We did 100 30-second branding commercials. We had 71,000 digital audio impressions, branded social custom videos, targeted zip codes, reaching a total of over 150,000. And then it goes on to some other statistics that the radio station has and all of that good stuff. We don't have to go through all that. This is a very, very small version of what the billboard looked like, our advertising. 45 and 59 South Houston exit. Our total billboard spend was $14,015, and our estimated impressions were a whole lot, over 2 million, over the age of 18. We did a website rebrand, email marketing, and social media marketing strategy. The website rebrand with Fall Fest landing page, dedicated hotel accommodations webpage with links to group rates so bookings can be tracked, monthly and weekly email and text campaigns sent out to over 3,500 promoting Fall Fest and hotel accommodations. The City of Seabrook logo was placed on all the Fall Fest web pages and email marketing campaigns as well. Social media posts on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, heavy on Fall Fest marketing and encouraging local hotel stays. Going forward, our 2026 Fall Fest marketing campaign will include our tried and true advertising strategies used in 2025. Additionally, we'll be focusing heavy on ads through the following outlets due to availability to highly target our intended audience and track conversions. We intend to do Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok ads, such as we did last year, Google, YouTube ads, and text marketing. We're going to branch out into like Paramount Plus, Hulu, some of the streaming platforms, and then, of course, music streaming platform ads. And then our hotel partnership strategy, our Quality Inn had a total of 62 rooms booked. That's what they gave us for the reporting. Let's see, revenue generated, $6,522. So thank you, guys. We appreciate it. We're looking forward to the 2026 concert season, making it bigger and better than ever. And yeah, please see the following invoices right here on the, if you can go through there. But in closing, based on all the documentation, success of Fall Fest 2025, Barge 295 is expanding its role as a tourism driver for the city of Seabrook. We are now a member of the Texas Country Music Association, and we're actively working with the TCMA and the Texas Music Office to grow destination-based concert programming at Barge 295 in 2026. These efforts are designed to increase heads and beds, regional visitation, and economic activity while positioned Seabrook as an emerging live music destination on the Texas Gulf Coast. Thank you, guys.
Anybody have any questions? That was very well done. Thank you. Very good presentation. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Would you turn the microphone on? Yeah, thank you. All right. Item 3, consent agenda. Item 3.1, approve the minutes of the February 3rd, 2026 City Council meeting. And item 3.2, consider and take all appropriate action on casting a vote for the officers of the Houston Galveston Area Council, HGAC, 2026 officers election, which was in your packet.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Councilmember Hammond made a motion to approve. Councilmember Sessom second the consent agenda. All in favor? Opposed? Hearing none. Passed unanimously. Thank you. Item 4, bid awards. Item 4.1, consider and take all appropriate action on a bid award to Lucas Construction Company, Inc., with a base bid of $1,713,182 for the East Meyer Reconstruction Project CIP S26, and authorize the city manager to execute the contract. Brian, do you have any background for us here?
We had a good turnout. We had 17 bidders. Our engineer of record vetted the current bidder. It'll be Lucas Construction. They've done work in the city before. I can answer any questions.
Move to approve 4.1.
Councilmember Hammond makes a motion to approve 4.1. Councilmember Tolet seconds. Do we have any discussion or further questions? Hearing none, all in favor signify. Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Item 5, new business. Item 5.1, consider and take all appropriate action on Resolution 2026-01, authorization for submission to the Better Utilizing Investments to Leverage Development Build Grant. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Seabrook, Texas, authorizing submission of an application to the United States Department of Transportation for the fiscal year 2026 Better Utilizing Investments to Leverage Development Build Grant Program, committing local match funding, providing for planning activities, and providing an effective date.
Move to approve 5.1.
Councilmember Hammond makes a motion to approve. Councilmember Tolet seconds. Does anybody have any questions for Gail? Gail, do you want to talk about this or the match or anything?
Just as a recap, this was something our grant writer that we've contracted with found. We've been trying to work through the old Seabrook livable study, and one of the big projects on that is not only Bayside Park, but moving into Main Street. Looking at the scope of Main Street, if you look at Toddville all the way up to 146, this is a pretty massive project and pretty challenging project. This grant that's being brought before you on the build program is just for the first step, which is the engineering. We're estimating with some of the right-of-way acquisition and challenges for drainage, the design portion to be about $1 million. So this is what we're actually applying for through the build program. Last Thursday, I did take a letter commitment to your Economic Development Corporation as they're a partner in the old Seabrook project. They did agree to be your 20% match. So in this case, they've committed $200,000 as your 20% local match. And then we have some in-kind services that's mentioned in this resolution, and that will be staff time, which will give us a little bit of an advantage when we go to apply. That will be over that 20% mark. So any questions?
No questions? All right, hearing none, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Opposed? None? Unanimous. Thank you. All right, item 5.2, consider and take all appropriate action on an amendment to the Public Safety Fund 2026 budget to approve the request for $170,546, which includes items to be purchased for the public service agencies. Kevin, you want to go over that list for us?
Yes, sir. So, Mayor, Council, thank you for having us up here. We kind of mentioned a few months back about the rescue boat needing to be replaced. So that's one of the items that we're looking to replace, and also a Stokes basket. The price for the boat is $154,042, and then to outfit it, we added another 10% to that, so $15,402. And then the Stokes basket is a little over $1,000.
Any questions?
Move to approve.
Second.
Councilmember Sessom makes a motion to approve. Councilmember Hammond seconds the motion. All in favor? Opposed? None? Unanimous? Thank you, sir.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. That was 5.2. We're going to pull 5.3 to gather some additional information. That'll come back at a later date. Item 5.4, consider and take all appropriate action on the City of Seabrook entering into an interlocal agreement with Harris County for the planting of trees within the Red Bluff right-of-way and authorize the city manager to execute the agreement. Brian, you want to
Sure.
tell us where that is?
We've been working on this for a while. Some of the key points is that these trees will be donated by the Trees of Houston, and they're going to be watering them for the first 2 years. It won't be a volunteer planting project. These trees are in a highly visible location. Our tree experts will be planting them themselves. The Lake Point HOA, they've agreed, that they've signed a letter saying they're okay with it. If approved by County Commissioner Court on 3/19, the plan is to start planting them in October. But that's not a set in stone date.
Anybody have any questions?
Move to approve 5.4.
Councilmember Hammond makes a motion to approve 5.4. Councilmember Tolet seconds. All in favor? Opposed? None? Thank you, Brian. Thank you, John, for your work. All right, cross that off. Item 5.5, consider and take all appropriate action on Resolution 2026-02 authorizing a grant application to the Harris County Precinct 2 Partnership 2026 program for the North Meyer Reconstruction Project. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Seabrook authorizing submission of a partnership grant application to Harris County Precinct 2.
Move to approve 5.5.
Councilmember Hammond makes a motion to approve 5.5. Councilmember Tolet seconds the motion. Is there any discussion or questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? None? And that's unanimous. Thank you. And we're on to 5.6. Consider and take all appropriate action on the first reading of ordinance 2026-05, amending Section 50 of Article 2, establishing the municipal court as a court of record and establishing an effective date. An amendment to Chapter 50, Municipal Court, Article 2, establishing municipal court as a court of record, and all the other stuff that says.
Move to approve 5.6.
Councilmember Hammond makes a motion to approve. Councilmember Tolet seconds. Do we need to hear from Christina? Do we have any questions? Or you want to explain to us what that is? Hit the green button for me. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Christina Duran. I'm the Director of Municipal Court Services. It's just changes to the law. We're just making our ordinances in compliance of state laws.
Is this from the last 89th legislative session, I suppose, clean up stuff?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
There's a bunch of that and things the judge identified as practical changes. So it's all been vetted through the city attorney's office as well.
Okay. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? None? Unanimous? Thank you. Thank you very much. Item 5.7, consider and take all appropriate action on a proposal with Branch Construction Group in the amount of $157,220 through the TIPS Purchasing Cooperative Contract Number 23010401 for CIP Project D19 outfall repair and authorize the city manager to execute the proposal and any associated documents.
This will be our final Phase 3. This should close out our outfall rehab project. It'll be the same company. They're doing a really good job, and I can answer any questions if you have any.
Move to approve 5.7.
Councilmember Hammond makes a motion to approve 5.7. Councilmember Tolet seconds the motion. You guys got to be quicker. Any questions for Brian? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? None? Unanimous. Thank you, Sarah.
Thanks.
Okay. Item 5.8, consider and take all appropriate action on Resolution 2026-03, establishing a code of conduct for elected officials. Before we move to discussion, I just want to note that we did ask for feedback on the original draft. We received some feedback. Several sections were clarified and refined based on those comments. particularly centered around aspirational language, procedural authority, and media communication. The version before us tonight reflects those adjustments. The intent remains the same, to provide guidance and shared expectations for professionalism and decorum, not to create penalties or restrict anyone's rights.
Move to approve 5.8.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Hammond to approve. Was that Councilmember Kubina, second? Any discussion, questions?
Yeah, I had a couple questions. So I'm hoping that this is just a rough draft. I noticed that there's a lot of typos. Council member is written out like 3 different ways in this copy. So I don't know how well this was reviewed, but this is public facing. So I'd just like to call out that to make sure that it gets corrected before it becomes an official document.
Sure.
The second comment and feedback that I've received is that as I've looked through other ones, just to confirm from other cities, a lot of times it doesn't just include council member, it's council member and like all elected and appointed officials in city management. So I suggest or recommend that maybe we change that verbiage to include.
Well, there'll be a second document coming through at some point for boards and commissions that I'm working on now.
So would it,
Because I'm taking out specific language having to do with city council in that report.
so can we do council member and city management then?
No, we're not going to address that. There's no
Why not?
discussion. Why?
I mean, that's a standard. If we took inspiration from other communities, that.
This is we're a self-governing council, so this is just an act of self-governance. This is something we're doing for ourselves, just to make ourselves better.
Okay, still my opinion, but that's fine.
Anything else?
I just have a question. I wasn't here when we had the initial discussion on it.
Sorry, my speaker.
Oh, sorry.
Weird. Yeah.
Sorry. So I was at a Deer Park Council meeting when we first had discussion about it. And I guess kind of I agree, having something to oversee all the committees as well. Do we have a time frame on that, just for transparency?
Yeah, I actually was I was using this document as a base, but the EDC, for instance, and some of the quasi-judicial councils have some of their own rules and regulations. So a lot of this really wouldn't apply to them. It's more procedural stuff. And so it's actually a pretty short document, a couple of pages.
Okay.
And I can circulate that,
Okay, cool.
it's almost ready. I just wanted to make sure, especially the quasi-judicial boards, that I wasn't overstepping, that we weren't overstepping something.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Anything else? Okay, we have a motion and a second. I think I don't hear any further discussion. All in favor? Opposed? That passed unanimously. Thank you. Moving on to item 6, discussion. Item 6.1, discuss Senate Bill 785, approved into law on June 22nd, 2025, and effective to September 1st, 2026, relating to the regulation of new HUD code manufactured housing and potential impacts on the city's zoning and development regulations. I think we'd like to hear Sean's take on that. This came from a question at the last council meeting, I think, so.
That's correct. I was requested to just give a brief overview of what Senate Bill 785 is and how it affects our community. So Senate Bill 785 requires municipalities to allow new HUD code manufactured homes in at least one residential zoning district. According to the summary of the bill, the intent was the bill aims to increase affordable housing supplied by ensuring manufactured homes are permitted somewhere in every city that has zoning. What a HUD manufactured home is a factory-built house constructed to a national building standard set by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. In simple terms, it's a factory-built structure. It must meet federal safety construction standards, the HUD code. It is transported to the property installed for use as a home. And then the question always comes up, is this a mobile home? Technically, it is. However, manufactured housing, the definition of a manufactured home versus a mobile home changed in 1976. So basically, it is a structure that could be brought in with wheels, and it kind of meets that standard or definition. Again, it's built to the federal code, it's not built to our local building codes. In the HUD codes, they do define wind resistant, and there's 3 categories. And we do fall in a category where it's category 3 and it has to be 110 miles an hour or more. So again, these are pre-manufactured houses that are built somewhere else. They're inspected to a federal code, and it's not to our building code, our normal building codes. Here's some examples of what manufactured homes are. As you can see, they can be elevated. I mean, they typically come in more like kind of a compartmentalized structure. They'll come in segments and pieces. They can be put together. They can be elevated. This picture down here shows where they can be elevated. I've actually seen these type of structures actually elevated on a podium, much like our bay houses or beach houses that are on the coast. They can actually be put together and anchored and put on that type of system. Manufacturers' homes must be allowed by right. Again, I kind of stated some of this. Allowed installation of new HUD code manufactured homes by right without special approval, at least one residential zoning district. So what the Senate bill is stating is we have to identify, we can't exclude these within our zoning ordinance. We got to identify one zoning designation that we allow these in. One distinct thing that we already have in place is a mobile home designation within our zoning district would apply in this situation. We have that designation in our zoning ordinance currently. However, we have never identified any properties within our city that fall under that designation. So as we work through this process, or I work through this process with planning and zoning, and we start identifying where this could possibly go, I think at some point in time, we're going to have to identify something that has a mobile home designation. We may even create a hybrid where it's still the residential district that it's in, but we'll have to create and identify a piece of property within our city that we allow this use. And that's what's being band-aided by this. And then we have to update the zoning map. What this code does also allow us, or this bill allows us to do, we can still create our zoning standards. So setbacks, minimum lot sizes, those type of things. It doesn't exclude us from having our zoning regulations that we normally have. This is basically use-based. We can't discriminate against this use. We have to identify someplace in our city that we allow this type of use. It doesn't eliminate the authority of our HOAs to have deed restrictions, to deed restrict this out. So as we go through the process and trying to figure out where to identify where we can have this, that part of the exercise will be determining someplace where there's not probably HOA authority that prohibit it. Because again, we're going to have to find some place that somebody could actually come into our city and do this. And then ultimately, the effective date for this is September 1st of 2026. So this is something I'll be working with with planning and zoning. I was hoping to address this as part of our zoning rewrite, but with the deadline that I have, I think we'll be working with that group to update, and this will probably be something that we work on initially as we start talking about the zoning rewrite. So we can accommodate it into the new zoning ordinances that we'll have in place. However, this will come to council for approval before the rest of the document because it's mandated by statutory law that we need to work through that. And with that, I'll answer any questions you guys have, but that's kind of a summary of that Senate bill.
This is not tied to population?
It is not. It's not bracketed.
And do we have any places in Seabrook that would already qualify?
We don't. So again,
So this is all new installation? This is all new construction?
Correct. It doesn't have to do with new construction. We don't have any trailer parks in our city that meet this definition. We don't have any mobile home parks or modular construction projects within our city. So at this point in time, we can't fall back and identify or create a zoning district around something that's existing. So we're going to be creating something that's more than likely a undeveloped piece of property that we rezoned to where they could construct this type of use.
But still, the owner of the property makes a decision whether or not they want to do this type of construction.
Ultimately, that's correct.
And
So
so-
that's what I was discussing, that what I would suggest is however we create this district, it'll have this allowance within this district, whatever we end up calling it. But the underlying or the allowable use within this district doesn't prescribe it to where it's just refined to only this use. I mean, at some point in time, you could have a district where it's R1 standards and allows this use, and it could be a hybrid opportunity where the landowner is going to decide what's being built on there. What's being prescribed to us is we have to create an allowance where this can be built somewhere in our city. It'll still be up to the landowner to develop it that way.
Is there any penalty if we do not?
Pardon?
Is there any penalty if we create it, but there's none that's built? Is there a penalty?
I don't believe so. I mean, I would refer back to.
I mean, ultimately, if the problem would be if somebody came in with a proposed use for something like this and we didn't allow it as a permitted use in at least one of our zones somewhere, and then they're going to file a lawsuit for mandamus action, we're going to get hammered for that, court costs, attorney's fees, all that kind of stuff, and they're going to get to do what they want on their terms. So it's better to get ahead of it.
And these homes or these zones would still abide by all the base flood elevation for FEMA and all that. It's like, they would still have to be above that certain area, correct?
That's correct. They haven't created a scenario where we can't create regulations around the type of construction on this other than compliance with our building code. Our floodplain regulations will still apply, but we're not going to be doing building inspections on these or anything else. These structures will come in pre-certified. They come with paperwork that shows that they're pre-certified to our wind requirements and that they've been inspected to these standards. And then as far as placement on the property and elevation, we still have those authorities.
But you still have to abide by FEMA and a flood map, right?
That's correct.
So, I mean, we're already in AZ and we're already all the way to Toddville. I mean, so that means nothing you have to be on the west side of Toddville?
Well, I mean, ultimately, again, these things can be elevated. I've seen them. I mean, they can be anchored to a.
It didn't say that. I thought you said they couldn't be elevated. They can be elevated.
No, they can be elevated, absolutely. I've seen pictures through some of our floodplain training where they've taken 1970 mobile homes up in the Polk County area, and they've elevated those things 20 foot in the air. I mean, it can be done.
Is there a minimum required set to the number of these types of homes or a set required size for this district?
They haven't, within the current statute, they haven't created that we have to create a certain area or a certain size area. It just says that we have to create an allowance somewhere within one of our residential.
Sean, maybe a good way for y'all to think about this is it's really no different than a residential subdivision in an R1. We're just allowing a manufactured house, HUD code manufactured house to take the place of that traditional single-family build. Still going to have setbacks, still going to have certain public dedications. We just have to allow the use somewhere.
Okay, so just to clarify, so if in one of our neighborhoods, we have a vacant lot, could that be built there?
Well, what I'm suggesting is we don't make it that broad. We're not going to go into our R1 zoning district, which is quite a large area within our community, and say you could do this. We're going to find a certain, and this is going to become political at some point in y'all, because the NIMBY stuff's going to be created as we start creating this. Nobody's going to want this in their backyard. So at some point in time, and there may even be a property owner that may not want us to zone it this way, but we are going to be tasked with going through the process of identifying some place that the city has determined that you can construct these type of structures or have these type of structures within the city.
Again, this is not solely these structures. We may create a separate R1 and a half district that allows single family and this kind of stuff, with maybe a little less setbacks and things and higher density, but it's not going to be, we're creating a mobile home park necessarily. We're just going to have to allow that park to be developed if somebody wants to do it.
And this is going to continue. I mean, this is on the same topic line. Every legislative session we've had in the last 3 they've tried to create, at the state level, minimum lot sizes that are a whole lot smaller than most communities want. This strive for affordable housing at the state level is a push at every session. And it's going to be the same at this session. They keep gaining more and more traction on all this. And this is something we're going to, at a local level, we're going to continue to deal with.
So if it was like an R1.5, could you dictate like how many of these homes compared to standard homes? You cannot.
I don't think we're going to regulate density that way. How we regulate those kind of things is the setbacks, and it's not going, they're not going to allow us to regulate density.
In many of our zoning districts, we have minimum lot sizes, so at some point in time, there may be, it'll be something we'll have to dive into as we work through the process and really dive into really the weeds of what this statute states. But there may be some opportunity where, but you're still going to, it's going to have to be reasonable, or somebody's going to challenge it, and we're going to end up in court.
If we go in there and have minimum lot sizes that are twice as big as our single, we're creating inviting a lawsuit. So what they're going to do at the P and Z level is try to determine what is an appropriate setback for these type of new districts, if we create a new district. And that'll apply to single family and these kind of uses, so.
All right, well, thank you. That all ties into the next session, which is going to be the affordability session. You guarantee that. Thank you very much.
Thanks, y'all.
All right, at this time, I was informed late this afternoon that we need to go into executive session pursuant to Section 551-071 of the Texas Government Code. The City Council will now convene an executive session to consult with the city attorney regarding pending that's not right, legal issues requiring confidential legal advice. That's what we have. Thank you. We're going to do this upstairs again because we're still not ready in the downstairs room.
online, we're on the same page.
I think I've had enough of it. Okay.
The difference here is that we're now going to attach it when you approve it rather than just in the file. So they're always it's not going to be the attachment from the agenda, but it's going to be whatever is referenced. They're always there.
Like that is if you actually reference like what these sections are, like the specific.
It's just a permanent. It'll say attachment A.
I do this.
Just go through MCCI and you'll be able to see it.
I looked at it, that's what I brought it to last minute. And then you agreed upon what.
Easement interest or things that are on the street right
Because
away.
we weren't attaching them, now we're gonna go ahead and attach them for you to approve.
I'm sorry, I'm just updating. You tell them the same thing? We tell the same story? to
No,
different groups?
they're just laughing.
Okay.
But, what it was,
First week will happen to me. Oh, you can hear everything?
and now we're doing
You can't hear that, just me being a male.
So let's go reference it.
it, yeah.
We were talking about something. They were talking about something.
Okay, thank you. Finishing no business during executive meeting, we'll re-adjourn the regular meeting at 7:16. And we'll go into item 7, routine business. Item 7.1, establish future meeting dates and agenda items.
That's me. Mayor and council, your next regular scheduled meeting is scheduled for March 3rd at 6 p.m.
Okay, anything else? Hearing no further business, this council meeting is adjourned at 7:16 and 35 seconds.
Wonderful.
Thank you all for sticking around.